When do you know when it's time to listen to the call of your own soul? And when I say your own soul, I don't mean that you have a soul. I mean that you are a soul, but I'm saying your soul because most people think they're not the soul. Most people think they are the persona, their name, their race, their political affiliation. They think they are their religion. They think they are what they do for a living. They have completely adopted the role of the persona and have abandoned their higher self, the soul. But this higher self is always speaking to us, but we have to be wise enough to listen. We have to be wise enough to even know that it's speaking to us. And it speaks to us in various ways. It speaks to us through the manifestations that show up in our reality every single day, because every single moment of the day is a manifestation. But you got to be wise enough to know that. If you're not wise enough to know that, then you'll live life unconsciously. This is what it means to be asleep, when you don't even know that you are the higher self, that the real you, before you had a name, before you had a race, before you had a political affiliation, before you had a religion, and before you had a title of what you do in society, you are the essence behind all of that, aka you are life itself having a life experience. You are life having a life experience. Most people forgot about this bigger, expanded version of themselves, and they live their life as this fictitious character, which is nothing wrong with being the fictitious character, because that's why we came to earth. But where it goes south a lot of times is when you forget that you are this and not this. See, I know that Robbie is a character. It's a role that I'm playing in society, but I also know that I'm my higher self as well. And I'm reminded of that every single day by paying attention to the things that show up in my reality. But the soul, the larger version of you, is begging for you to listen to it because it has an expanded awareness. It's equivalent to having someone on top of a mountain that can see miles and miles throughout the valley versus being the person that's actually down there in the valley. Person on the top of the mountain has a wider view, a bigger perspective, and it can guide you accordingly because it's higher than you. It's higher than the persona. The real you is higher than the persona. And it's always trying to call you home. It does that through the things that are manifesting in our physical reality, and it also does that through intuitive nudges that you feel every single day, but most people have become numb to those nudges. And that's why we do things like distract ourselves with social media, distracting ourselves with things like porn, and distracting ourselves with alcohol and drugs and sports and all of the things that distract you from listening to this higher self. When a person tells me they can't meditate, all that means is this person has chosen to opt out, and they have adopted the role of this persona, which is when most people say, you know what, I'll just let God handle it. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel, because I'm too unconscious to sit there and listen and tap in to the call of the soul. Jesus, take the wheel. I want to go unconscious. That's what most people do every single day. But usually there's a rude awakening that happens. The soul is going to get your attention one way or another. And for most people, the soul gets their attention through pain, through some type of accident, a health scare. Maybe they lose their job. Maybe they get a divorce. Maybe they go through a midlife crisis. But the soul is going to get your attention one way or another. But it doesn't have to be through pain. There's a way for you to tap in and listen to your soul every single day, and you can do that through meditation. This is why I meditate every single day. You can do it through meditation. You can do it through contemplation. And a lot of people say, man, I can't meditate. The reason why you can't meditate is because you don't practice. Anything you practice, you're going to get better at it. But if you never practice meditation, you'll never get better at it. Meditation is simply you making the persona sit down and listen to the call of your higher self. That's all meditation is. Sit the persona down, make it listen to the big you, because it has a higher perspective. This is why a lot of people, when I tell them that they are God or that we are God, they can't understand it because all they know is the persona. You telling me I'm my name? I'm not God. I'm Robbie. I'm this. I'm that. I'm a lawyer. I'm a Republican. I'm a Democrat. I'm a this. I'm a Christian. I'm an atheist. I'm whatever it is. They can't detach themselves from the persona that they have adopted temporarily while they're on earth. But really, they're the essence behind all of that. Your life itself, and that's what God is. But me telling you that is not going to cause you to understand that. I'm robbing you from going through your own experience by telling you the answer because you haven't had the experiences to understand what I'm even saying. If you're not doing the work, if you're not meditating, if you're not contemplating, if you're not sitting down on a daily basis listening to the call of your higher self. This takes courage. It takes patience, it takes wisdom, it takes a desire to know who you truly are at your core. Most people are so addicted to the persona and addicted to the knock on wood 3D world, and the 3D world is the world of old news. It's the world of things that have already manifested. This room has already been created. This shirt has already been created. Everything you see in your physical reality has already been created. That's the world of the old news, but most people are treating the old world as if it's the new world. But the new world is happening inside of your mind. But the reason why the old world continues to look like the same world every single day is because most people are addicted to having the same thoughts that are creating the same reality every single day. Sit with yourself. Do you know how it feels to sit down and have and develop a really good relationship with your brain? Do you know how it feels to sit down and have a heart-to-heart with your heart? That's what it means to have a heart-to-heart. I'm going to have a heart-to-heart. I'm going to sit down and communicate with my heart. And I'm going to see what's on the mind of my heart. And I'm going to use my heart to communicate to the heart of another. Who do I need to forgive in order to tap into my true potential? Because when I forgive, I allow my body vehicle to allow more of the essence of who I truly am, which is life, to flow through me. When was the last time you sat down and consciously talked to your gut? Talked to the root? When was the last time you went into an altered state of consciousness without doing drugs or alcohol? When was the last time you sat and had a conversation with God, with yourself, with life, which is all the same thing? When was the last time you did that? Being able to regurgitate the information is not the same thing as being able to walk the path of the information that you've been regurgitating. And there's a lot of people that can regurgitate. Yeah, I used to get confused because I would hear people say, oh man, you know, it's all about the vibes and the positivity and thinking good and manifesting. Meanwhile, they're living like they know nothing of what they speak about. And the person that lives like they know nothing of what they speak about is equivalent to the person that knows nothing about what they're speaking about. That's just like the person that can read and don't read is equivalent to the person that can't read. You're in the same boat. You can talk it, but can you walk it? Walking the path, walking this path is literally going to cause for you to do the inner work. To sit with yourself and become consciously aware of who you truly are. Look at this world. Look at social media. Most people are copycats. You see a trend take off and then everybody else does it. Everybody's so eager to get the fortune and to get the fame and the notoriety to the point where all they're willing to do is copy somebody else. They're copycats. But who is the originator? And when you meditate, when you contemplate, you tap into the originator, you tap into the source. Every single day, your soul, your higher self is talking to the little persona saying, hey, come check me out. Hey, you're having problems in your reality. I got the solution, but you keep ignoring it and you're drowning out your sorrow with empty liquor bottles. You're drowning out your sorrow by living vicariously through somebody else. You're drowning out your sorrows by listening and watching sports and TV all day. You're ignoring the call of your own soul by adopting somebody else's religion. You're ignoring the call of your own soul by becoming overly obsessed with politics. You're ignoring the call of your own soul. That's why you have to join a religion, because you can't even sit still and get to know who you truly are at your core. You gotta follow something that somebody else put together. What happens when you sit and listen to yourself, when you listen to your heart? What then? Stop being a regurgitator and go to the source. You being able to tell me how many push-ups it takes to get a big chest is not going to give you a big chest. And a lot of people want to act like they know what they're talking about by regurgitating. There's a lot of people that are regurgitating. And it's okay to regurgitate if you're actually applying the information you're regurgitating. But the vast majority of people are not doing that. The vast majority of people are just talking. Whatever you do, talk it and walk it. If you meditate, talk about it. Walk it. Talk it because you walk it. It's time to become a walker. It's time to start listening to the call of your own soul. If you need help doing that, go to mindmastersociety.com. Mindmastersociety.com. I can help you master your mind and spiritually align. Once you get your mind right, once you align with the call of who you truly are, once you align and get to know it, to know your real self, that's when you're going to go to a whole nother level. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you like it. But if not, adios, amigos.